So I bring to you, The Cable Guy Took a Dump in My Bathroom, or Why I Hate My Parents. I've lived without a television for just over 2 months now. At first I panicked. I come from a family who firmly believes that Katie Couric and Alex Trebek are immediate family members and should be laid places akin to Elijah's at a Passover Seder. When I lived at home, my parents' Christmas card list should have included Bob Newhart with Larry, his cousin Daryl, and his other cousin Daryl, the Seavers, the Huxtables, the Carringtons, the Ewings, and the entire staff of the St. Eligius Hospital for the amount of time that we spent together. For some, talk about television shows is considered merely water cooler conversation at best. But for us, it was like my entire house had a giant Brita filter on it. We rarely talked about the world or our place in it. Literature was strictly for homework, unless you included Danielle Steele, which my mother absolutely did. Politics were forbidden, and religion was reduced to the Walter Cronkite defense, because that's the way it is. We didn't do much else as a family otherwise. So as a rebellious teen, when I left for college, I eschewed all of it and tried to find my own way. I started reading Proust, en français. I renounced Catholicism, I embraced radical liberal politics, and I devoted myself to the theater. Most of all, though, I pronounced my disdain for the absolutely pedestrian habit of watching television. And those were the years that 90210 and Melrose Place hit big, the first time. Seinfeld and Friends were making TV a must-see, and Twin Peaks made my friend, Laura Palmer, a household name. But I would have none of it. I was all about Shakespeare and Ibsen, Chekhov, Strindberg, Williams, Shepard. Bochco, Griffin, Woolf, and Lynch were morons, all. But no matter how much I've always publicly poo-pooed it, I've always had one. I've never had the cojones to get rid of it. Something about having that little glowing box in my house turns me right into Carol Ann the minute it beckons. It's comfort. It's family. It's home. And sometimes it's all I need to make me feel part of something bigger than myself, since religion escapes me, politics usually bores me, and swans way from what I can understand in English, since it was fucking impossible to read in French, is just one long, pretentious, narcissistic, misanthropic dump. Which brings me to yesterday. I moved into my new apartment less than a week before I started shooting a new film. I had no time to unpack anything, and I lived out of my suitcases for 6 weeks. Luckily, I discovered that one of my neighbors had an unprotected wireless internet feed, so if I sat on the northeast corner of my bed and balanced my laptop on my left knee just so, I had free Wi-Fi. So I was covered. Hooking up the cable was the last thing on my mind, and oddly, I liked it. On my days off, I went out, I read, I went to yoga classes, and I slept soundly, many of the things that TV keeps you from doing. But as time progressed and the empty screen became increasingly dark, I found that something was wrong. I was betraying my upbringing, disowning my parents, and wrecking my home. Just like my family, television and I don't have much in common, and we don't visit often, but I still like knowing that it's there. The appointment was Thursday, between 12 and 4. At 1:15, the buzzer rang, and I sang gaily into the little box, "Be right down." I sailed down the 2 flights of steps, anxious to greet the cable guy. I was wearing my little, "it's a day off and I don't give a shit" dress, which is short, blousy, and doesn't require too much understructure. And this is important because he took one look at me in that dress, and he let me lead him up the stairs. Feeling his eyes burn on my inter-diameter slope, I immediately knew the kind of guy I was dealing with. For those of you who don't know, this right here is the inter-diameter slope. Yeah. My suspicions were cemented when he said to me, "So, what do you do to stay in such good shape? 'Cause you look fit, mommy." After assessing what he would need to get the cable and internet installed, the cable guy announced to me, "I'm gonna go get my things, and then I'm gonna use your bathroom, okay, mommy?" "Sure, of course, make yourself at home." Yeah, I said it. I'm Southern. It's ingrained. He goes to his truck and I quickly tidy the bathroom, hide the tampons, close the shower curtain, and wipe down the sink. Just because he's the cable guy doesn't mean he should think me a slob. So the buzzer blares again, this time with a fat and sleazy bleat. And under the second time, shame on me, theory of single girl safety, I let him go up the stairs first. He did his installation thing and got everything taken care of pretty quickly. Almost. His phone suddenly isn't getting a signal. Can he borrow my phone to connect with HQ and finalize the install? I offer him my iPhone and have to walk him through how to use the touchscreen. Ooh, you smell nice, Mommy. I hadn't taken a shower in 2 days. I question his lack of reception, both his phone's and his own, of my unbathed, unkempt, undressed, and otherwise appearance. He then says again, "Now, I gonna need your bathroom." Right, okay, I had said make yourself at home. It would be rude not to oblige. So I show him the way and start checking my email at my desk for the first time in months. After 3 full minutes of silence, the door remained closed. 6 minutes in, and I'm suddenly really uncomfortable with some stranger in my house doing God knows what, locked in the bathroom. I search for the most aggressive music I can find. Motorhead. That ought to do it. The umlaut is very threatening. I crank up the volume. He finally emerges, the door to the bathroom left conspicuously closed, and exhales deeply. A huge sigh of relief. He rubs his paunch and plops down on my couch. I'm gonna test the channels now. I can sit here, Mommy? Make yourself at home. Shut up, shut up, shut up. He flips on the TV, Ace of Spades still blaring in the background, and begins to surf. The channels work fine, but this man clearly is not going anywhere. He stops on the Olympics and stretches out on my chenille sleeper sofa. At this point, it's obvious to me that his task of many is now complete. Well, is there anything else you need? Yeah, a pillow and a beer. I had such a long day. The time is 1:50 p.m. I grab his clipboard and point to the bottom of the work order. I sign here, right? He gets the picture, and reluctantly pulls himself off the couch. He takes the clipboard, gives me my receipt, and with his free Commerce Bank pen, he taps the patch on his shirt twice. His name, Peter, embroidered in bright blue. Ask for me direct if you ever need anything, Mommy. I blame my parents.